Hello and welcome to Liberty Nation TV. I'm your host, Jeff Charles. National Public Radio recently decided to remove the mask, so to speak, when it announced a change to its policy on reporters becoming involved with political events. This decision is yet another example of why I call them the activist media. To discuss the matter, I've got Liberty Nation's editor-at-large, Jim Fite, joining me. Welcome to the program, Jim.
Hey, thanks.
Awesome. So let's dive right in. Let's start by having you give us a summary of the article that you wrote on libertynation.com about this issue.
Sure. And I like how you say they removed the mask. That's a good way to look at this. This isn't a matter of, that's getting ahead of things. So NPR, like you said, they released a new rule update that lifts the ban on their staff being engaged in any sort of public political activity. And the idea here is trying to maintain an image of objectivity. Of course, to get back to the whole thing about removing the mask, no one has thought that NPR was objective, not for a long time. And if you think so, hey, look, I'd love to talk to you after the segment about a beautiful piece of beachfront property I have along the coast of Arkansas. But yeah, so NPR's released this, that lifted the ban partially, not all across the board here. A journalist would still have to discuss this with his or her boss, and there would be a lot of questions asked, allegedly. But the director, the editorial director did say that, so hey, if you wanted to march with Black Lives Matter or in a pride parade, that would probably be okay. There was no mention, or I should say there was very little mention and no positive outcome to the mention of any other sort of more conservative issues.
So you're saying that this might not involve political action events that involve, say, red MAGA hats, or would that be correct? Or did they give any indication in that direction?
I think to be charitable, you'd have to say maybe, but in reality, I don't think so. I think that would be one of those things where they would shut you down pretty quick.
Right. So on a more serious note, why do you think that NPR, a taxpayer-funded entity, why do you think that they would feel so comfortable making a move that so brazenly violates the principle of objectivity?
I don't think it's a really big move all at once, and I think it's I think the hint anytime you're dealing with progressives or people that lean progressive is in that word itself. These are little progressive steps. I'm sure when this policy was first put in place, NPR was actually striving for and probably nailing it there for a while, that principle of objectivity. But as that bias has grown and or just become more clear, this has almost become just sort of an issue of like, this isn't even a real change so much as it is, like you said, just removing the mask. I've joked, halfway joked, I'm halfway serious, that they finally just got tired of trying to convince people that they're not biased and gave up.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now, I did a little bit of digging and I saw that NPR's listenership has been dropping each year since 2017, especially among its top 20 programs. Now, do you think that this move will help them to get back on track as far as listeners go, or will it make things worse, or will it not have an effect whatsoever?
If it has any effect, and I don't know that it will, but if it has any effect, I suspect it'll make things worse. I think that the way to get back on track and get more listeners is to get rid of that bias. I mean, if you present yourself as a conservative outlet or as a liberal outlet, that's one thing. But if you're presenting yourself as a nonpartisan news outlet, that's what you need to deliver.
That's true, especially, if you and I are funding them, right? I mean, if the government is
oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So in your estimation, what do you think the chances are that other activist media outlets will follow suit and take the same step that NPR did? Or do you know if they already have?
I could see it. I could see this becoming a trend. A lot of times I think, and especially in the media, the only thing holding certain outlets back is just the fact that no one else is doing something. So, I hate to say, oh, this is just going to open the floodgates, but it might. I mean, it may be one of those situations.
That makes sense. And it's not like they're really hiding their bias very well anyway, especially over the past 4 years. So they might as well just go whole hog, right? But one thing is clear. I mean, NPR is certainly earning the title of activist media, as have other left-leaning news outlets. And we'll keep an eye on this. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, man.
Remember, this show is proudly sponsored by LibertyNation.com, where you can access podcasts, breaking news and analysis, and a range of biting and brilliant shows to whet your appetite for freedom and your fondness for the great American Constitution. Just go to LibertyNation.com on your browser or hit Rumble, YouTube, or check out our Liberty Nation News Roku channel. I'm Jeff Charles. Thanks for watching. This program is a production of LibertyNation.com, conservative news, where truth matters.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.